The moment has finally arrived. You're sitting in the driver's seat, surrounded by rich scent of brand new leather. Your whole body is buzzing with just one thought: dude, I actually did it. But let's pause for a minute. While you're sitting there adjusting your meters and getting comfortable, an invisible clock has just started ticking. Fast forward 7 years. That's 84 months in fine print. That new car smell? Yeah, that's been gone for years. And you suddenly realize you've paid the bank enough money to buy two of the same car. The entire industry pulled a slick trick on everyone. They stopped selling cars and started selling monthly payments. They've spent millions just to make sure you feel that tiny moment of triumph when you walk out with the keys and pause that first instant peak. But you've got to ask yourself one thing: was that feeling actually worth it? Let's play a little game here. We've got 3 different buyers and one crossover that costs $50,000. Same car, 3 completely different futures. First up, we've got Mark. Mark decides to take the pain and arranges a 4-year loan. He's going to be coughing up $1,200 every month. For the next few years, he can forget about having a life, let alone fun hobbies and weekend trips. He'll be grinding. Then there is Alex. Alex wants balance. He goes for 6 years and $800 a month. He figures that way the payment won't sting as much every time he sees it leave his bank account. And then we have Chris. Chris thinks he's a total life hack genius. He stretches out his loan to the absolute max, bringing his monthly payment down to $600. He's got so excited that he even taxed on an extended warranty and some paint protection. Why not, right? It only adds the cost of 2 lattes a month. But wait, here is the real question. Which one of these guys is going to wake up in 3 years and realize he owes the bank $10,000 more than his used car is even worth on the market? Which one of them is basically trapped in a cage of metal and glass, unable to sell it unless he pays the bank a massive penalty just for trying to be thrifty? I'm gonna get into all that in a second. But first, do me a favor, drop a comment. Who is the biggest loser here? While you're in there, you think you're hanging over the price of the leather seats, the tires, and that big touchscreen. But for the dealer, that car is nothing but bait. Inside that fancy glass office, they're not really selling you a vehicle, they're selling you a payment plan. Check the stats. And ADA industry reports and data show that the finance and insurance side can easily make up around a quarter of a dealership's total profit. In many places, that back office is one of the biggest money maker. Think about that. It's actually more profitable for them to sell you money than it is to sell you spare parts or oil changes. The car is just the hook to get you to sign a piece of paper, then you'll pay them interest for years. It all works because of a weird glitch in human brain. We see a $50,000 price tag and a $600 monthly payment as 2 completely different worlds. The F&I guy knows this. He stops talking about the total cost. He shifts your focus to one thing: a comfortable budget. By stretching your loan from 5 years to 7, it makes that monthly payment look smaller, but he's quietly inflating what you eventually pay by something like $12,000 or $15,000. You walk out feeling like the winner of a great deal. In reality, you just agreed to pay for the same car 1.5 times over. And it gets worse. By 2024 to 2025, the average US buyer owed more than $6,000 on their car alone than the car was actually worth. At that point, you're basically still paying for a vehicle that's already vanished on paper. The real nightmare starts when you decide to trade in that car. 100 years ago, Henry Ford had a simple rule: if you don't have the cash for a car, you don't buy the car. But his rival over at General Motors, Alfred Sloan, realized how that rule was creating a huge bottleneck if you wanted to fill every driveway in America. So in 1919, GM created GMAC, first big machine built to give mass-market loans to everyday people. That changed everything. Suddenly, GM wasn't just selling metal, they were selling the dream of getting behind the wheel today. Ford started bleeding sales because he was stubborn and demanded cash, while GM was teaching the world how to live in debt. For a long time, the standard was a 3-year loan. But after 2008 crash, car prices started climbing faster than people's paychecks. To keep the wheels turning, the industry started stretching the terms. The cars got bigger, but the paychecks didn't. First it was 5 years, then 6, Now we are seeing 7-year loans everywhere. By 2024 to 2025, the number of 84-month loans, that's 7 years in case you forgot, climbed to nearly 20%. It's one of the only ways they can move pricey SUVs to people who, if we are honest, can actually afford them. The math is simple. The longer the term, the more affordable the monthly payments look, and the more people get sucked into the system and locked in. That's how we ended up with the modern F&I department. It's that tiny room in the back of the showroom that makes the dealer more money than all the mechanics and salespeople combined. Today, a dealer might sell you a car at cost, or even take a slight loss on the car itself, because they know they'll make it back, and then some on the interest and the add-ons you got in that back office. But the real trap doesn't get you until later. Let me explain. Before we continue, you see what's happening here, right? More and more money stuff in everyday life has started to look like that F&I room. There is a pretty showroom up front, and a fine print headache waiting in the back. If you don't want the person who's just funding someone else's vacation, you almost need a manual for this stuff. I've been putting that manual together in my newsletter, The Blueprint. It's a field guide for consumers in a world that's designed to drain your wallet. If you sign up, I'll send you the Modern Scam Dictionary right away. It breaks down 50 different tricks corporations use to mess with your head, plus the system I use to escape the 9 to 5. This is inner circle content that won't be on the channel. The link's in the description. Go grab your blueprint. Now we get to the part that hurts the most. The part where the trap finally closes for good. The second you pull out of the dealership, you lose about 20% of the car's value, and you're only just left the parking lot. We already covered that part, but here's the thing. Your debt to the bank stays exactly the same. According to Experian, the average loan today is actually around 120% of the car's real price. It's like buying a new iPhone for $1,000, but walking out of the store owing $1,200. You haven't even taken a single photo yet. You're already in the red by a couple of $100. This happens because they bake all the taxes, fees, and extra right into the loan. You haven't driven a single mile. You already owe the bank thousands more than the car is worth. And then comes the rollover magic. Imagine you want to trade in your old car for a new one. You think your old car will help pay for the new one. Like a coupon, right? But the manager looks at you and says, look, you still owe the bank $20,000, but this car is only worth $14,000. To make the deal happen, he just takes that $6,000 gap, that leftover debt, and sneaks it into your loan. Now you are paying for a new car plus the ghost of the old one. That's a rollover. It's taking your past money mistakes and dragging them into a new, even heavier contract. In 2025, roughly 1 in 4 buyers in the US fell into this trap, carrying an average ghost debt of about $6,000. You're basically paying business class prices for a budget sedan, because your monthly payment is covering a car that someone else is already driving. At that point, you're not really paying for transportation anymore. You're mostly just paying to keep a growing pile of debt from getting worse. The real loss here isn't just the money you're handing to the bank, it's the time you're stealing from your own future self. Alright, let's go back to our 3 guys and see how the math plays out. Mark, the guy white-knuckling those payments for 4 years. He's officially free today. His car is actually an asset now. He can sell it, he can dump that cash into a business, or he can keep driving it for free without giving the bank another cent. He beat the system. Alex, our balanced guy, is still grinding away. 5 years have passed. He's still got another full year of payment left. The worst part, his car is worth almost exactly what he still owes the bank. For 5 years, he basically just paid for the right to use his overpriced car without actually building any wealth. He's not underwater, but he's been running in place for half of a decade. What about Chris, our master of life? He's officially lost the game. After 5 years, his crossover is worth 18 grand on the market. He still owes the bank $24,000. He can't even quit the game if he wants to. He'd have to find $6,000 in cash just for the privilege of stopping his loan payments. Chris didn't really save money on his payments. He just bought himself 3 extra years of being stuck compared to Mark. The math gets even uglier when you add the opportunity cost. That $400 a month you saved could have gone into an index fund at 8%. After 7 years, Chris would have roughly $45,000 sitting in his account. Instead, he's got a beat-up car and a zero bank balance. It either builds your kingdom or it builds the banks. The length of your loan is the switch that decides who ends up rich. At the end of the day, your neighbor driving that 10-year-old Toyota that's been paid off for years is probably richer than you, even if you look cooler sitting in traffic. Next time you're sitting in that F&I office, take a second to calculate how many years of your actual freedom you're trading away for that new car smell. We've turned cars into one of the most expensive ways to look successful, and it often comes at the cost of our future choices. The real price tag isn't the number on the contract, it's all the opportunities you're saying no to right now. Is that new car smell worth several years of your life? That's up to you.